Hello guys, I'm your host Chris, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the MSI RTX 2060 Gaming Z. Now, this is the very first card that I ever owned as a PC owner. When I built my first rig, this was the very first graphics card that I ever implemented. I thought ray tracing, based off of a lot of the videos, I know a lot of people didn't particularly like it. I thought it looked really cool, and I know this card was pretty much the entry level to getting into the whole ray tracing bit, and I really just wanted to see how it looked and how it played, and I was pretty impressed. I don't think uh, the coverage from YouTube really does it as much justice as it deserves. It's better played than it is, watching someone else play it. It just looks really beautiful, and it takes things to the next step, I think, in my personal opinion. Now, on specifically to the RTX 2060, I usually played Witcher 3, actually predominantly Fortnite. I mean, it's the biggest game right now. I was able to get 1440p, 144 hertz pretty consistently on my Ryzen 7 3700X with this card, and I had to make a few tweaks to maybe like the shadows and some of the post processing, but I was able to get a pretty consistent 144. So it can be done. You just have to make a few sacrifices. Now I could probably turn the game up to 1080p max settings and get about 144 frames per second as well. But I like that nice sweet spot between 4K and 1080p at 144 at 1440p, 144 hertz. But let's dive in a little bit into how the card looks. And here you will find a rather chunky looking card. I was actually surprised when I was building my first computer that cards weighed this much. Now I know this is one of the more premium models, but I didn't expect such a thick with two C's kind of card. And definitely feels very premium. Metal backplate. See, it feels super sturdy. This card would look very beautiful being vertically mounted if that's what you're into. I didn't personally do it, which is kind of a waste, but I did replace the card with the 2070 Super, so I had my reasons for not really investing and making it look all pretty and whatnot, but it still looked pretty, even in its base format. I did have it mounted somewhat like this, and the RGB implementation did look very nice nonetheless. So, is this a card I could recommend? If you're looking at 1080p high refresh gaming, I can wholeheartedly recommend this. Now, for me in particular, I have a 1440p 144 hertz G-Sync panel from Dell. Great panel. I don't like the TN. The colors are kind of washed out sometimes, but I really wanted 1440p in a lot of AAA games, and this card will do it with some settings brought down. Manage your expectations. You get about 60 frames, maybe sometimes 70, 80. To me, I really wanted to maximize my 3700X's potential. I did upgrade to the RTX 2070 Super. I love that card, but I just wanted to do a review on this card because I think there's still a lot of value that most people will kind of glance over when considering buying a new GPU or upgrading from a previous GPU. So where does this card kind of lie in pricing? Now, I understand that Navi is a thing and that even the 5700 will pretty much beat the RTX 2060 in most scenarios. It doesn't have RT cores, so you really won't be able to experience ray tracing, which I think everyone should see before they kind of scoff at. I think this card is almost, it's basically almost the performance of the 5700. I can find this card in particular for around 315, 325 secondhand, and I could find lesser RTX 2060s for around 250, 275. So I would definitely consider these cards at that price, because for that price you could buy a 1660 Ti brand new, but it's not going to have the same performance as this card. They both will still have NVENC, which is a really good encoding technology. And this card also is priced about the same. So you'll get roughly 10 to 15% performance more on this card as opposed to the 1660 Ti. So as long as you find someone you believe you could trust, that they didn't, overclock the hell out of the card, half-lifing it, or, just thermal throttling it all the time, I would definitely consider something like this. Especially since if you plan on keeping this card for at least 2 to 3 years, I would definitely get this one in particular, because you don't want to really get something without a good heat dissipation system built into its engineering. Otherwise, the card would probably die on you. So that about does it for the review. If you want a little bit more specifics on what the card can do, based on my previous experience, sound off in the comment section. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have about the card. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm gonna be doing a little bit more tech stuff and more gaming related things on either Mixer or Twitch. I'll let you know. And thanks for tuning in. See you next time.